morning, students. Today we are going to start with one more lab program. The question is, using TCP IP sockets, write a client server program to make the client send the file name and to make the server send back the contents of the requested file if present. Implement the above program using as message queues or FIFO or as IPC channels. So this is our question. So how we are going to solve this one? How we are going to write the program by using the TCP IP sockets? So before that, you have to understand why we are using the TCP protocols here. Okay. So here you can see, according to the question, it has been given the TCP sockets. So it means that we are using or we are implementing the TCP protocols. If it has been given UDP, you can guess that it will be a UDP protocol. So what is the meaning of your TCP protocol? We know that it is very reliable, connection oriented, or you can say that it is a stream oriented, and it is a full duplex connection in between your client and server. Okay, so I can take it as your client server, or else I can say that it is in the connection between two sockets. Okay, so two sockets, if I will take, then definitely it will work on your IP sockets. Okay, so if it is TCP protocol and then it is working on your IP sockets, that only you are going to use here to transfer the file from your client to server or server to client. That we will see how we are going to do it. Fine. So now here how you are going to give the guarantee that whenever it will send the file, then you are going to receive the file also. That guarantee you can give if it will be connected with your TCP protocol, because you know that it is very reliable by nature. So now, if suppose by due to some traffic congestions, if the packet got lost, then how we are going to transmit it? Here it is providing you can retransmit the lost packets. Fine. So it will take some time to retransmit. So you need to wait whenever you are seeing the outputs. And suppose if it will have any errors, we know that if any packets is having any errors, we have to check all the errors through our checksum algorithms. Okay, so if that also happens while sending the packets, then we need to wait and we have to send the packets after applying the checksum algorithm, and we are going to catch all the transmission errors, and then we have to send it to your server side or client side. Fine. So here, as you can see in the question, it is like we are going to use the local servers. Okay. According to this question, we are using the local servers. Otherwise, you can say that we are going to use the remote servers. So we will have one local address, because without address, we cannot send any of the packets to anyone. So here, which address I'm going to use for the system, you have to check your system. What will be your local address? So for my system, my local address is 127.0.0.1. Okay, that also you can try it out because it is a local default address. So whenever you are going to like create any of the TCP connections, so before that you know that we have to connect the TCP sockets. Okay, so once we will have the connection with TCP sockets, then we have to bind the socket with the local address and the port. Then only we will be able to send. Okay, so when I will send this binding things like your socket with your local address, then I have to use the bind method, that you remember, because I am going to use all these keywords in my program. So when I will have the bind state, you know that I should have the call state, because binding will help you to bind the socket with your local address, but call method or call state will listen what, where and all, where, how you are going to send the sockets, right? So again it will enter towards one more state, that is known as your listening state. So once the socket of each incoming TCP calls, whenever from the TCP protocols, whenever it will enter towards your bind state and call state and listening state, then it has to accept. Okay, once it has been accepted, then only you will be able to send the packets, or you will be able to transmit the data. Okay, so whenever you are sending the data through your, without using your listening state or call state, then your data will not transfer from your source to destination. So that is the main aim why we are using this IPC channels. Okay, if we will use these IP channels, then we will be able to send the file or packets or data from one place to another place. So here in this program, I have just explained you what is the question, okay, how we are going to utilize this client and server program. And also here one more thing you are going to do: before starting this program, you should have one file. Okay, so wherever you are keeping your file, that you have to remember. So now suppose I have kept one image, and let me take the image name something like temple. Okay, so it will be in the form of your .img. So what I'm going to do, or .jpg, or dot like anything, so that file you need to remember the address where you have kept. Suppose you have kept it inside your C drive, inside your image or photo folder, you have to remember the path name. Why I am saying you to do all this? Because here we are writing a client server program where the client will send the file name, and the server will send back the contents of the requested file. It means if the client is sending the file name as temple.image, then the server will send back to the client what is inside that file. Okay, if you want, you can send the text file also. So if you want, you can send the image file. If you want, you can send the video file also. But video file will take little time, extra time, because you know it will be of more GB of space it will take. So it will take little bit of extra time. So we are going to implement these things over our TCP protocols. This is our program. Okay, so while starting the program, it will be best that I will show you the output first, so that we will have the idea how we are going to start with the program. So here, before starting the program, you should have two terminals. Okay, so how to create the terminals? First, you have to right click on your Ubuntu Windows screen. Then you can see that terminal. Just open your terminal. Once you will open your terminal, you just give your first program name as client.java. How you are going to write? vi space client.java. Whatever I'm saying, the process of the execution part, if you want, you just note it down, because it will be little different like how we used to do. So here I have to write vi space client.java. So once you have written, one terminal will open in the white color screen. There you have to write the client.java program. Okay. Then you have to write colon wq, and you are coming out of your client.java. Okay. Then you have to write one more program, that is server.java. So you have to write vi space server.java. Once you have written this, similarly, just give the colon WQ and just come out of that terminal. So now simultaneously you have to open two terminals. Okay, that you remember, you need to open two terminals. In the first terminal, we will compile server program. In another terminal, we will compile client program. So in the first terminal, you have to write java c server.java. So if you don't have any errors, directly this path will come. So there you have to write java space server. Okay. Then here, once you have given the running mode, it will ask you. So what it will ask you? Enter file name. So what I have done is, I have one file which is present inside my C drive. in the photo folder. So that file name I'll just write down here. So what is my file name? To temple.jpg. Okay. Then it will write that waiting for request, right? So next you have to see your another terminal, that is your client side. In your client side also, as it has not been executed, that's the reason it will show you here that waiting for the request, because server wants to have the connection with your client, and client side the execution part has not started, so it will just wait for the request. Now again in your client side you have to compile, so you have to write java c client.java. Then if any error is there, it will show you the error. Go back to your program, check it out your errors. If you don't have any errors, then with this file name just write it down, java space client. Then it will ask you enter server address. I told you I have some local address and ip address which I'm going to bind with my port numbers. So here first I have to give the server address. So this is a default address I'm using. You can also give the same thing. So what is that address? 127.0.0.1. Then it will write that send get to start. I'm using the get method. I told you that we have to use call state. So I'm going to call to server side. So once it will be like this, here you can see it will give you that connected with 127.0.0.1. Send get okay. It means that it is sending you the code of 200. It means the connection between your server and client is successful. So here it will give you send get okay. So now you have sent it here, send get to start. You are asking to start, and here it is giving you the acknowledgement back that it's okay, you can start. Okay. Now next is that acknowledgement has been reached. So here it was in your listening state where it came to know that 200 okay notification has come from your server to client side. So now to push up your connection and all, you have to write here start. Okay. If you won't write start, it will not start. So to start any of the event, you have to give like a push operation, that is your start. Okay. So here you have to write start. Once you have written start, here it will start. It will understand that the client is asking me to provide the file. So here it will start like this, sending file, this file, whatever the file name you have given. So here the size is this much, buffer size is this much, and okay. So this much is going to send from your server to client. And simultaneously you can see here receiving file. This is a file name. Saving this file as, because it will save in your client side, so it will just rename your file. And you remember one thing, everything we are doing in one system. So if it will save in the same name, then you won't come to know that really my file has been transferred or not. That is the reason it will just rename the file. What it will rename? It will rename automatically. So it will just write client to temple.jpg. So it will give you some file size because it is receiving. So here it is given 0 MB because I have taken the snapshot where it has not taken the file size. Otherwise, it will give you the size as 19868. Then it will write okay, send complete. Okay. So here it will write receiving file completed. So once it will be completed, then it will wait for another request. If you want to send any of the request, then you can provide the request again and you can have the connections once again. But if I want to send only one file, then it will stop here only. So this is the output of your program, and in this way you are going to run your program. So now we'll just move back to the program. Let's see what we have written to have this connectivity. First, I will show you the client side program. Okay. So here you can see in this client side program, I have imported some of the Java. Okay. So I have one buffer reader also. So what it is going to do, this buffer reader, it will just extend the reader. Okay. And also it is going to read from your input stream. Fine. So it is a reader. It will use the keyword the reader as in your extents, and also it will read the characters whatever has been given from your input stream. So that's the reason I have imported your buffer reader. Next is data input stream, data output stream. Then it is your end of exceptions. If you have just want to come out of any of the exception, if any fire triggers, that time we can utilize these import operations. Next one will be your file. As we are using to give the file and to receive the file, we have to input all the operations whatever is present inside this library function. Next one will be your output stream, then input stream reader. It means that whatever the input file will be there, it will extend to read all the characters from your input stream. Then the socket, as we are going to have the connection in your TCP protocol, we have to use the socket, we have to bind it. Then we are using the scanner, and where we have to use all the object types of your scanners in a util package. Now moving towards your program, here you can see class client name. The class name you have to give just similar to your like program name whatever you have given, because it is a Java program. Next you can see that public static void main. Already I have explained you many times the meaning of this one. You can see that, and then throws the exception, because sometimes what will happen if IP address doesn't match or port address doesn't match, then forcefully we have to come out of the loop. That time if we will not throw the exceptions, we cannot come out. Okay, so to go back and to find out the trigger where it is really happening, we have to utilize the throw exception. You can do one thing, don't use this throw exception and just try to go for like the program executions and give some port number which is not available. Then you can understand the errors what you are getting. You will get that throw exception is unbinded. So that time you have to utilize this throw exceptions. Next one is your string address. Okay, I just want some address, so I have kept it blank because I have the local address which I want to utilize. Next is I'm going to use a scanner. This SC will be my object types which I'm going to utilize over my program. Then here I'm just going to have the input values of the whatever, maybe it will be a server address or port number. If anything I want, that input values I just want to keep it inside SC. Next, I want to print system.out.println, enter the server address. So it will ask me, you have already seen in your output screen, it is asking like enter the server address. So there manually I have to give the server address. Suppose if you don't want to give manually, then you have to write that address over here, the string address. Then automatically it will call inside this server address. Next, that address whatever has given, just keep it everything inside the address here. Okay, so indirectly you can see if you are giving over here direct address and no need to write this line enter server address, it will just connect automatically. But if you have your local address and you want to give and you want to try this program in any of the system, that time local address used to vary. So in that way, if you know your server address, then you have to give the print statement and then just put all the values inside your address. Now next we have to create the socket to bind with the port numbers. How I'm going to create the socket is the keyword. You have to remember S has to be capital. Then the object name, just create the address and the 5000. This 5000 is my port number and I have to bind it with my address. So here I have used the bind method. So here what is the address? 127, whatever the address has been passed, and then just bind it with your 5000. Fine. So here next one will be to get the values. So I'll just stop over here and just go back to your next program, server program, because we have to see both the things at a time, as both are interrelated, and once the question has written here, it is going to the client side to find out the response. So here in the similar way, the server side program, Here I have imported the Java packages, whatever is necessary for my program. I have started with the class name and also started with the void main functions in the same way how I have written in my client side. So I have thrown the exception and I have written the file name, because you know that we have to send the file name. So first thing is, here the server side, when you are going to execute, it will ask you the file name. So I have just written here, print enter your file name. So here that file name whatever has come, you can see it will create the string as your file name. That file name has to be saved inside. So the input values of that, it will take with the object of your sc. So sc dot next line. So next line, in the sense the file name will be written over there, so that has to be copied and pasted inside your file name. Once has been written your file name, so it will be saved. Next we are going to close this scanner. Next, what we are going to do, we have to, I told you that we are waiting for the port numbers which has been binded from your client side. So we have to go for the true. Suppose if this part is not working out, directly you have to go for your try and catch method and come out of the loop, because we have used the exception cases. As here, if it comes under true method, then it is going to work out like this. So how it will work? So first thing is, we have to create the server socket. So server socket, let me take the object file as ss, and I have created it with the port number 5000. You have remembered, I guess. Here I have given, I have to go up and down. So here I have given the address as 5000. So here whatever the address has given, it will take it as your input values, right? So data input stream will be my 5000 and also it will be my address. Fine. So next, the out, this out will be for my server side, because input is my client side, will be the output of my server side. So where it is going to out, or where it is going to write, in my connected, where it has been connected with my server. So this output stream will work only for your server side. So how it will work, you can see here. So now it is just waiting for the request, and it has been accepted the request. You can see how it has been accepted SS. What is that SS? In the SS, there is a server socket number or port address, port number, that is 5000, which is accepted. So now here you, how I'm going to connect with, connected with the internet address. What is that internet address has given there, because already the connection is established. So here it will concatenate your internet address, that is 127.0.0.1. So that it has to concatenate, and all the things it is going to transfer as your string. That's the reason, if you want to convert into string, you have to use the method as toString. So I'm going to change it. So now, input stream, who is the input stream for this one? The output of this line, right? The output of here will be the input for your server side. So I have given the output as these things. So there it was the input. So next is, I have to start with my buffer reader. So here in this buffer reader, I have to input the stream, whatever I have given. Okay, so what I have given here, it is writing that it will read the characters, whatever has been given towards your input stream. So the input stream, now I'm going to give it as, just I'm waiting that it will write send get to start, and it will just waiting for my string and the file name. So I don't know this file name. So what I will do, it will just, as it is connected, so it will have this output. What is this output? So if I am writing output here in my server side, so it will act like your input of my client side. So here I have to give the output. What output I should give? The file name and all, whatever has been sent. Here I have given the file name. So that will be the input towards my server client side. So here I am just giving the values like string, then string value I have given. So now you can ask me, what is the meaning of your UTF? You know that UTF method writes all the string. If you want to write in your underlying like output stream and all, if you want to read, you can read. If you want to write, you can write. So it is based on your string method. So my d in is which one? This one is going to be read. if it will read, so what is there, it has been written that send get wait, send get to start. So here this is my input stream, and here what is happening, here you can see it will just print send get okay, because once it will read from your input of your client side, then it is going to send back that it is okay. So it will send the notification of 200. And if it is not equal to stop, okay, because I have told you that to push up my operation I have to write start. So if it is not equal to stop, it means if it is something else, then what you are going to write, you have to write sending file. Another thing also you remember, instead of start, if you will write A also, it will start the process. Okay. So it should not be a stop operation. Anything, any character you just have to press just to start with the sending file operations. So here I'm just sending the file with concatenating the file name. Then this file name has to be written in D out. So D out operation will be working for your client side. Okay, so that time you can see here how I'm going to write. So here you can see that same thing, try method, while this one is equal to start. As I have written start, you have to write start. If I have written here A, you have to write A. So whatever you have written inside your program, that value has to be written in your command prompt or in your terminal. So then the next line, you are going to read the line. And just you remember another thing, here D in will be the D out of next program. Here D out will act as your D in your next program. Similarly, here read line, there will be a write line. Here write UTF, there will be a read UTF. So the opposite of this one will be in another program, because here I am reading, there I am writing, here I am writing. Because of that, I have already read that the string. So here I am writing because the string, whatever the file name has given, it has been written over here. So once it has been done, here we are writing receiving file, then the plus file name. So once that is done, then we are writing, we are renaming the file. How we are renaming? Just you add your client. If anything you want to write, you can write that plus your new file name. Okay, so it will save in your new file name. So you are going to save the file as your the file name whatever you have given. So now next thing is, if you want to find out that the size of your file, if it is more, if you want to calculate, then you can calculate is by dividing 1024 into 1024, and it will be in terms of your MB, because we want the size in terms of our MB. So the size of your file has to be in the term of your 1024, so it will be in terms of your MB. Then here you have to receive the file. Then once you have received the file, you just have to find out, read what all are the length was there, what is the size of that, everything you have to read, and you have to write completed. Then close all the like all the object files whatever you have opened, because we have utilized D in, D out, all the objects, everything you just close it. And if it is not going through your exceptional case, then inside the try, the catch button will be there. So inside the catch, you just write it down, just open the bracket and close the bracket. So it means that null values, so nothing has been carried out over here. So next, in the same similar case, you have to go through here this part also. Here you have to write what are the size of the file, input stream size. You are going to convert it. So you have just written that new bytes of data, it will be 1024, because you know the file size, this thing. So now you are going to write that things in the term of your size, because we have already transferred into the bytes. Then you are going to write the size of the file. Then here you are writing the buffer size if anything is there. Then you are going to write it. Then once it will be done, just write OK. It means that you already the send is complete. If any exceptional case is there, then your stack trace value, you are going to throw it, and you have to utilize the object as E. Then you are going to write an error occurred. If nothing, then just come out of this loop and close all your things whatever has been opened, like D in, D out, all the objects files you have to close it. Whatever has been opened, you have to close it. Then once it is done, you are going to run the program in this way. So this is the explanation of your program, which is like write a program write a TCP IP sockets where you are going to send the file from one place to another place, and in your server side you are going to check the contents of the requested file, and you have used this program by using your TCP IP sockets. So this is the explanations of your program.